Mr. Bradshaw at AddSomeToYourIncome.com here to talk with you about ways to increase your income without working more. I will focus in on the three types of income: labor income, passive income, and gift income, and looking at ways that you can increase your labor income, passive income, and gift income without working harder or more or putting in more time. Let's look at this. With Add Some to Your Income, my focus is adding to your income. Today, I'm going to really work to say things. I know we can do this. I know I can do this. You can find ways to increase your income and not have to work more. Let's work on a couple of definitions first. When we say work more, we're talking about how you're spending your time. You don't want to spend more time working. You're not wanting to pick up that second job, third job, and put in extra time for more money. Because time, like my hair, I can't go back to when I had more, right? You want to be able to spend your time in ways that you enjoy, not just trying to make more money. And that's where being able to look at the three incomes is going to be able to help you to think through this and find ways to make that more money. I asked a question of my principal. I asked, what more can I do to make more money? This question is huge because I couldn't ask my principal for a raise. And you might be able to ask for a raise. We'll get to that soon. I couldn't. You're going to be careful about asking for a raise. When I asked that question, my principal said, I don't know, but if I think of something, I'll let you know. He came in my classroom 3 days later with a piece of paper. He said, here's a stipend. And in my brain, I'm thinking, what's a stipend? He then goes on to explain, this says you will do extra work outside of the classroom that you've already done when you did X, Y, and Z. And if you'll just sign here, you'll get $600. Best signature of the day, right? And I'm thinking, I like stipends. I didn't have to do any more work, but I showed that I was willing to do more work. Asking the question, how much more time did I put in? Very little. I just had to come up with that question, and I share it with you as a question you can ask your boss. What more can I do to make more money? And then they know you're interested in more money and you're willing to do more work. This is the equation I like to use for budgets. You see, budgets are simple. Money comes in, money goes out, and then you have whatever's left over. So I here stands for the income, E stands for expenses, and the S, it could be spending or saving. Basically, you scrimp and you save and after all the spending that you do. A budget, I wanted to put this definition here for a little laugh, is a mathematical confirmation of your suspicions, according to A. Lauder. And it is mathematical. In the material about fixing your budget, there is so much there that focuses on the expenses. If you just decrease your expenses, you'll have more money to save. I see this all over the place. I had a book called 101 Ways to Add Some to Your Income. And I'm like, oh, this is my topic. I'm in this. And I go through the book and I find 2 examples that actually increase income. The other 99 examples were ways to decrease expenses so that you'd have more money in your account. So I focus on increasing the I, ways to increase your income. Let's look at the 3. Labor income. This is when you work today and you get paid right away. Let's look at the math equation since we're doing some equations here. Your income for labor is a combination of the amount of time that you put in at the amount that you get paid for your hourly wage. So you want to increase this income, but you want to keep the time the same. So in order to do that, you've got to increase your hourly pay on labor income. How do you increase your hourly paid? You gotta be willing to change, and big change if needed. You could look up what are the highest paid positions in America. I looked this up. The highest paid position in America is an anesthesiologist, the person who comes in and takes away your pain. I find it extremely interesting that our society values most the person who will make it so you won't feel anything. You could make that change. If you're going to be putting your time in, you might as well go to a higher paying position. It's not your only option, though. You can also master your craft. I know of a teacher who was complaining to me that a coworker of her at her last school was making $12,000 more a year than she was. And I asked, well, why? And she said, because the person had a master's degree. In education, when you get further degrees, you get paid more. And whatever your craft is, find out what it is you need to do to be in a higher paid position. You could be doing the exact same work and making more money every year. A part of that is to ask for more money. Negotiate your salary when you start your position. Negotiate your salary when you change positions. Negotiate your salary when you're asked to do further responsibilities that could actually give you another name to your title. Ask for a raise. Your boss is usually expecting it, and it's often granted. A quick story. Tony Robbins story for you. He had a secretary. He hired her at $1,500 a year. This was back in, I think, the 80s. At the 3-month review, I believe it was, they sat down. He's like, all right, you're doing great. We're going to give you a raise to $1,600. The secretary then said, oh, that's very kind of you. But I've been doing my homework to find out that I could work for X company and make $1,800 a month, or Y company and make $1,800 a month, or Z company and make $1,800 a month doing the same job. I'd rather stay here and work with you guys if you can pay me $1,800 a month. Tony Robbins, of course, said, oh, let me think about that. Of course, he had to look at it. He did find that X, Y, and Z companies would pay her $1,800 a month. And he knew she's already been trained, she's doing great, and obviously someone like this that's going to be doing their homework is worth keeping. And he came back to her saying, we can pay you $1,800 a month. It takes doing your homework. That's doing a little bit more, I know, and yet you'll feel so much better. One last one for labor income is fundraising. Finding ways and resources and spots where there are grants, scholarships, donations being made that you could tap into. And now we move into